Hi everyone, it's Chris. Welcome to my parlour. And today I wanted to do a ghost chat. I haven't done one in an age, and I found a reference to the ancient Ram Inn through Laudanumandlace on Facebook. And I thought, it sounds interesting because it mentioned that a ghost hunter, Tony Ferguson, actually had to abandon his investigation into the ancient Ram Inn because he says it was too haunted. A ghost hunter said it was too haunted. Is it haunted? I don't know. I want to delve into this one because this is quite interesting, and I had to light a candle. I just felt as though I needed to light a candle for this one because this one is so interesting. This ancient Ram Inn. It's available for ghost hunters to check it out, and it's open up as a tourist attraction because of its haunted associations. But it's no longer an inn. I don't even think it was one at any time or another. It has a very colourful history, but I don't actually think it was actually an inn. Maybe once, but it's no longer. And you can't stay there. I suppose you could if you were an investigative team. You might be able to book an overnight investigation, but I can't be sure about that. There are some really interesting pictures if you want to check them out on TripAdvisor. Has some really great pics of this particular inn and what the tourists say about it. So it has some reviews as well, some good, some not so good, depending on your perspective. And as with all things, it comes through that way. So this, the ancient Ram Inn was built in 1145. Can you believe that? 1145? How old is that? And it's in Wotton-under-Edge in Gloucestershire. I'll get my teeth in. Gloucestershire, and has been dubbed the most haunted in the UK. Murders, death, and the paranormal activity. As I mentioned, Tony Ferguson and his team of ghost hunters at Ghost to Ghost. Reminds me of Scooby-Doo, Zombie Island. I love that show. Stayed the night at the inn in February 2022 and came away convinced it is haunted. Very haunted. Voices, mist, orbs, banging, dragging sounds, a cat meow, because the witch's cat was apparently died and buried underneath the house. Strangled, sensations, being strangled, all sorts of things happening in this house that Tony Ferguson and his team experienced. The inn was bought in the late 1960s by John Humphries, who made it his home. He lived there alone. His wife and daughter left him in the house alone. So that must have felt really bad about it, because John Humphries had some really paranormal experiences there, living there, being thrown against the wall and being dragged about and things like that. He was aware of the haunted nature of the house, and he was actually featured on Most Haunted. I'm not too sure what year that was, but it was before he died in 2017. So he passed away, and is now belongs to his daughter, Caroline Humphries. His daughter now owns the house and runs it as a tourist attraction. Some more information. The house was built on an ancient pagan burial ground, and many believe that murders and deaths took place at the house, and supposedly sometime someone hanged themselves in the barn somewhere at the back, and there were pagan rituals and devil worshipping and things like that. John Humphries claims he'd found evidence of ritual sacrifices and devil worship on the inn's grounds, and had come across the skeletal remains of children. Some say the atmosphere is awful, pure filth, dark and heavy. Overall, it is said there are several entities haunting the inn. A witch that was burned at the stake in the area during the 1500s, she haunts the inn, and a former innkeeper's daughter hanged in the attic. Some say she was murdered, and some say that you can hear her body being dragged across the floor in the attic. So, it's awful. And spirits of murdered children haunt the inn, and there have been exorcisms there. It was a bishop's house at one time or another too, and it belonged to the church another time, so who knows. Orbs of these spirits have been photographed by paranormal investigators and others who have been there, curious bystanders just coming through to see the house. Caroline Humphries, John Humphries' daughter, now owns the Ancient Ram Inn, and it's just for tours now, I think. I don't think you could actually do anything else in there. But she does have a website. I think you get more information from TripAdvisor, to be honest, about this, and a few other websites about the inn itself, which is really interesting. It's very old, isn't it? Tudor style in some spots, and oh my goodness. I want to find out the energy around the house, and I've got this book, The Alphabet of the Human Heart, and it has the shadow side and the positive side, but I'm going to be using the shadow side for these readings, and I want to see what kind of energy this inn has. So I'm going to find the middle page, which is there, and I'm going to find out what the energy of this house is. L is a lie. So it's a lie. I wonder what's happening there. Let's have a look. Let's see what it says here. Lives never lie still. They toss and they turn inside as trying to escape, tearing us away from our own deepest truth. If you lie, ask yourself why. Lies often cover up our deepest fears of being discovered, found out, unmasked, of being seen for who we really are. To be all you can be, tell the truth. It might hurt at first to admit it, but it will truly set you free. Interesting, isn't it? So the book's telling me that this perhaps a lot of lies have been going on. There's been a lot of secrets hidden about this home, perhaps. John lived in the house himself. He lived there, but he said he would never sleep upstairs. He only slept downstairs. The bishop's room is apparently the most haunted. It's a succubus, is that right? Or incubus there as well. Oh my goodness, how scary. So a lot of things have been said about this house. And of course, the paranormal investigator said that this is the most haunted place he's ever been in, and that is Tony Ferguson. So I'm sure he and his team have investigated quite a few places. But 1145, I mean, that was when it was built, 1145, and witches have lived there. She actually hid there at the house, but she was found and tried as a witch and ended up dying. So, so much happening there. A lot of things perhaps haven't been explained, have been exaggerated. Who knows? You don't know these things, but it's all for a good scare. This might be the place to go. Let's have a look and see what my other cards are saying about the energy about this house and see what might be coming through. Come on, cards. What is the energy of the ancient Ram Inn? The Ten of Hearts. Well, it's a home. It was a home. It was once perhaps a loving home. Someone is really very proud of this home. Someone, whoever has got an emotional attachment to this home, because the Ten of Hearts is coming through as an emotional attachment, you know, feeling as though this is home and hearth. So perhaps there is a spirit within this inn that feels as though they belong here, that this is their home and they wouldn't ever live anywhere else. So who could that be? Let's find out. What am I sensing from here? That not all spirits in this home are devils or demons or bad entities. There are some quite interesting people, that spirits that live there. Yes, there's a lot of fighting going on, a lot of not quite agreeing about this sort of thing. So there is a lot of that going on. Some spirits come and go, I would say, and some are being kicked out because they're just too disruptive. I wonder if that's true. I wonder if all this mist and all these orbs and all this is happening, or these children perhaps are just being children, having fun and being disruptive, and just having fun at the expense of people that are visiting. It's definitely a woman in charge. And children. Definitely a woman and children living there. It's definitely a woman in charge of this, of the spirits, and there are quite a few children here. And of course they are from the past. There's no doubting that. I think overall the energy of this home, someone says it's all dark and full of filth and sort of very heavy, that the energy was very awful. But what I'm coming across here now is that, you know, it was a home to somebody, and it was a home to you know, to John Humphries from the 60s until he passed away in 2017. Now his daughter owns it. So it was a home to somebody. A lot of activity going on there, though. Definitely a lot of activity. So yes, there is a lot of activity in the home. I wouldn't doubt that at all. But who lives there besides this woman? Very motherly person this one is. Is she the witch? I don't think so. This is definitely somebody else. And she keeps control. She's in the middle of all this chaos, of all of this happening. She's the gatekeeper, I would say, the gatekeeper to keeping the calm between everything that's going on. A lot of children are there as well. Were they killed in rituals? Were there child sacrifices? Possibly. There's a lot of activity going on. But if it's a home for these spirits don't want to move. They're the caretakers of this establishment, I think. And the activity that's going on that is, in my belief, that is disruptive, is the influences coming in and disturbing these spirits, disturbing the ones that have actually been there for the longest, been there probably since the 1500s or even back into the 1100s when it was built. They're the caretakers, they're the owners of this property. The pagans, possibly. Pagans did do sacrifices. Did they? Did they sacrifice these children? A lot of squabbling and in-house stuff going on too, but she's the main one that's keeping control over them. Okay, if the children are there, what would they have to say? Because John Ferguson did find some skeletal remains of children which he believed were stabbed. And oftentimes children were placed in buildings, especially bridges. Cats and dogs, animals were placed in structures as well, because they believed that they added integrity to the building, added strength, added the spirits of those children, of those animals, to strengthen the structure. A lot of bridges were made, and I do believe they have been found when bridges have come down, ancient buildings have come down. They did find, remains, because that's what they did then. I don't know whether they're buried alive. Wouldn't that be horrendous? What would the children tell us? What would they tell us? Water. Water energy, perhaps. Water. Maybe some children were, dare I say it, drowned in the well. Is there a well with children in it? Is there a well? I don't know. I don't remember seeing that. Creation. This is like death brings about productivity. It nourishes the earth. Creatures die, people die. They oftentimes weren't buried, or they were buried, but they believed that their souls and their whatever they went where they wanted to go, and their bodies were left behind to nourish the earth. Perhaps there were some children buried in the water. Knowledge comes through here. Knowledge. Interesting. We can create knowledge from these children, from the remains that we find in this house, and we can learn more about the history. Because the Caroline Humphries, who owns the house, is also open to archaeologists coming in and working out what's actually underneath the home and what's been left behind. So perhaps she's creating the opportunity for us to learn about history. I mean, this is from the 1145 when this house was built on this land. What does the land hold? What history does the land hold? And what stories will that tell to the archaeologists? And we can learn about what life was like then. Was this a pagan burial site, or was this a pagan area for whatever pagans did then? Interesting. Because here it is too, it's the full spine. It's like a channel to the universe as well. These spirits in this home also have something to tell us. If we could only communicate with them intelligently and have them respond to investigators in an intelligent way. So instead of investigators being scared and running off, to take some time to get to know the spirits of this home. The water is very emotional, so there's probably quite an emotional need for the spirits to tell their story, to create a story, to create something from their endings, because they haven't crossed over. They're still being stuck here for hundreds and hundreds of years, creating an opportunity for us to learn about history. I like it. Some people say they would not stay there, and some, of course, are very curious about who's actually in the home, but it's definitely a woman and children. And I think the other spirits, they're the main ones that stay here. They're the caretakers, they're the gatekeepers. And the spirits that come in and cause chaos are the ones that come through. And a paranormal site will attract other spirits. Spirits can't help but be attracted to a paranormal site and see, if it's a place for them to congregate or cause mischief, and some do. And I think they're ousted out quite quickly, because this is a home. This is a home for these spirits. It's not something to be abused. So they get ousted out quite quickly. That's what I'm thinking. It's a very emotional place to be. I think people who go there will feel those fears, will feel the lies. It's like when you go there, let's have a look at that page again about lies. And tearing us away from our own deepest truth. If you lie, ask yourself why. So I suppose people that visit here, their inner soul, their darker side, their shadow side comes to the surface, and they, it forces them to seek the truth within themselves, I suppose. So it could be a place to go if you're seeking inner truth. It would be a very important place to go, because I don't think you could hide from yourself if you go here to the Ancient Ram Inn. There's not a place to hide. It's not a place to lose yourself. This is a place that you would go, and you would probably be attracted to it if you're willing to learn a bit more about yourself. Yes, definitely. This is a place to go. This is a place to be when you want to learn about yourself and those who are very similar to you, who wanted to learn the truth about themselves. They're like-minded people. Intuitive knowledge comes through here. Secrets can't be hidden. Emotions can't be hidden. This is the Lover's card, and this is the High Priestess card. So intuitive knowledge comes through here. So you will learn how to interpret your feelings here, your emotions here. You can't hide forever. There's always someone watching you. So even if you think you're hiding your shadow self really well, there are people who can see it, people who understand it, and people who will help you understand it. And here would be the place to go. I think the Ancient Ram Inn would be the place to go if you're looking to find yourself, looking to find your tribe and those who will understand you and help you understand your shadow self. So I think a lot of people are drawn there for the truth about them, who they are. How very interesting. So, this is my opinion, of course, and other people will have very different opinions about what goes on here at the Ancient Ram Inn, but this is what the cards are telling me. You can't hide from your emotions, you can't hide from your shadow self, but there are those who are willing to help you, and you will be guided to those, perhaps through a tour, because it's open for the public to go and have a look at, but it's also open for ghost hunting tours and things like that. You might meet up with somebody who actually draws you out of yourself, understands you, and then you can use your own intuition to guide you through as you learn, and learn not only about the history, but also about the history of yourself, and to tell your story truthfully, and not hide behind anything or anyone. So this is a place to go to find the truth. No lies here. There can't be lies here. There can't be lies at the Ancient Ram Inn. Here's more water here. Yeah, I think it's just a place to understand the emotions of your existence, of your story, of who you truly are, and learn that about yourself and apply that to life. So it's a very interesting place to be, most definitely. So who would like to go? I would be very interested. I mean, I love European history. I love the I love to go to all those European countries, you know. Oh, excuse me. It's full of history. It's full of, you know, here in Australia, we can only go back to 250, 300 years. Here, this was built in 1145. Oh, my goodness. So I think that was all that's coming through here. So I hope that was interesting for everyone. I don't know whether or not YouTube will allow me to have comments on this one. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But I think it's quite interesting. So I'll leave the link for Laudanumandlace, their Facebook page. They have some really interesting podcasts you might be interested in as well. And you never know. You might find out something very interesting or start to question your interest and may even precipitate an interest in the paranormal. So thank you very much, and until next time everyone, so many blessings.